Welcome to the Spirit Guide Daily. These are daily messages that when we're in a collective, we all share energy, and these are timeless messages that will find you when they are meant to. This is the Higher Love Oracle. This is the Guardians of the Night Tarot, and this is the Purple Canyon Wellness cards. Awesome deck. Laborious title. The other thing that I've been telling people about this is because so many people were commenting that these readings were helping them learn tarot better, that I just started marketing that way. These are good kind of lesson guides on expanding your understanding of cards as well, and how to start connecting the cards, so it is an intermediate thing. Let's get going here. Hey guys, please don't forget to subscribe. Helps my channel. If you hit that thumbs up button, it helps as well. It creates an energy exchange. One of the laws of magic is take something, leave something. Let's go. Okay, I have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which is being drained by something. This is one of my energy vampire cards. Be aware of it. Be aware of it. Like, we all, as we're healing, and healers have a hard time with boundaries because they want to help people. You have to recognize when somebody is being dependent versus asking for aid. And that comes out with a Nine of Wands in reverse. We've got two nines in reverse right away. It can be a vulnerability as well. And then that comes out with the Six of Wands in reverse. Interesting. That can be a delayed journey. It can be a blocked journey. Reversals are not bad. They have a different meaning. In the upright, the Nine of Wands is the PTSD card, the Wounded Warrior card. It's the card of having strong boundaries. And in this one, depicted as porcupine. In reverse like that, it is sometimes a battle that you're not meant to engage in. Sometimes it is being vulnerable to somebody else's machinations. In this particular one, it is saying that you will be able to block, because the Six of Wands can also, in reverse, can also be a blocked journey. This one in particular is saying that energetic balancing will help you with a draining presence in your life. The only thing that you do, and you need to be a little bit aware of it, is that you pretty consistently stop doing like energetic management practices and just try to go back to, like, you know, living a life that doesn't contain a spiritual component. It needs to be part of every day. And it doesn't need to be a big tedious thing, but it needs to be part of every day. Meaning you're either grounding, you're balancing, you're listening to a root chakra recording. This is just saying that, like, hey, here comes an energy vampire, and you're going to be able to shut it down, but that you need to remember it will knock you out of balance. It will knock you out of balance whenever you need to, because, like, people with poor boundaries frequently don't take no all that well, and you might have to reiterate it, and that always makes people who were frequently, particularly abuse survivors, where they weren't taught that they had the right to say no or be self-protective, that will leave you very drained. Don't forget to put on a solar plexus healing vibration or frequency. They're all over YouTube. They're free. My favorite ones are Inner Lotus Music. I also like Tao Wind Spirit as well. I like Jason Stevenson and Meditative Mind. Whenever you encounter somebody like that, if you can't get to trees and to ground, then what you want to do is do a balancing exercise, or at a bare minimum, listen to 5 minutes of a solar plexus healing, because it will cause you to deplete your own personal power as you try to repel somebody who's used to living off of other people's energy. And that is not necessarily a sinister thing. They're usually just a product of their own environment. So it's not that they're trying to be taxing. It's just that in order to avoid interaction with people who have not learned healthy energetic management practices or healthy boundaries through often no fault of their own, you have to be in charge of it yourself. Meaning you don't feel guilty about when you won't let somebody take advantage of you, or you won't take on somebody else's burden for them. And when you're healed, setting boundaries does not come off as being obnoxious. When people start healing, setting boundaries to them is so foreign that they do it like they're, like, you know, clog dancing in a minefield. It's not an elegant process, but it gets better over time. And the better your boundaries are, the better your life experience is. And it doesn't mean that you can never choose to sacrifice for somebody, but it's an active choice, and it needs to be set in a set of circumstances that make it an aberration rather than the go-to. Meaning that you're like, it's a rare instance where I'll look at the situation and go, no, you actually genuinely need more help than would normally be given to somebody because you're sick or you're lost. But it needs to be like that. Acceptance. To have total acceptance of others, I must first gain full acceptance of myself, so I allow myself to live as me, not how I want others to perceive me. Nothing I do is upsetting, embarrassing, or intolerable. I am simply me, and that is good enough. Hey, listen, here's what happens with not being able to set good boundaries. People who are abused quite frequently had to placate an abuser. And so they become people pleasers out of a feeling of a need to be safe. That disappointing somebody can have terrible impacts on them. One of the things that I noticed in myself is because I consistently, like both of my parents were narcissists. My mother in particular is a very toxic one. My father was he died when I was 15, and so it wasn't as big a deal. I had to go live with my mother, a very toxic person. The reason that I'm going into this is that you can frequently begin to fear being happy. When you have lived with particularly abusive narcissists, and I chose partners, I had a very long-term relationship with somebody who would punish me for being happy. If I was happy, I would subconsciously begin to be afraid because I knew that there would be a backlash for that. And in fact, one of the things that helped me at the end of that particular relationship was seeing photographs of myself in which I was so clearly trying to mask all of my emotions. I was almost expressionless. I wasn't smiling in photos any longer. I was very guarded. I was very posed. I was very robotic. And I saw those pictures and I was like, wow, I wonder why nobody else has noticed that I'm dead. and like, I'm laughing about it now because everything turned out fine. But that was one of my red flags, was seeing that it's like I have changed myself radically trying to remain safe from this person, and I never was, and I did actually leave the relationship. But it is something to pay attention to, is it comes at a great cost to you. This is an energetic cost. This is something that you are vulnerable in, and this is bringing a stop to something or slowing down a journey. Whenever you have any doubt about whether something is or isn't appropriate to agree to participate in, then what you want to do is take some time to think it over. Give yourself at least 24 hours. One of the things that abuse recovery victims also have is like if I don't get this done right now, there could be trouble. And so we rush to do things very, very quickly. Learn that there is not so much urgency in giving a yes or a no. Think it over, and if you say no, then it just needs to be no. It doesn't need to be no with a million. Cool, calm, and collected. was your love oracle card. Let's get one more on those. Helping others and mentor. So echo, echo, echo on our love cards, which is, it is when we are in a healing profession and we're trying to live a purposeful journey and we're trying to participate in trying to make the world better, it is one of the hardest lessons for people to learn, that it's like, but that doesn't mean you're ever supposed to hurt yourself to help somebody else. You matter as much. Even when you come here and your whole life's purpose is, I want to be here to make a difference, I want to make the world a better place, you matter just as much as the person that you're trying to help. And it is never worthwhile to energetically drain yourself to the point that you are vulnerable to these type of predatory energies. Because whereas this is coming off as somebody who just doesn't know any better, like they just don't understand that they're being inappropriate, if you allow that energy to continue in your life, it will attract other more, like, I almost want to call them apex predators. Have good boundaries. It is the easiest way to protect yourself. And if other people aren't receiving that well, take that as an indication that they're healing something, not that you have done something wrong. Okay? So that was the Spirit Guide Daily for today. If you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link to my website in the description box down below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if there's a new podcast called Logical Magic Examining Esoterica, where I discuss so many of these issues and give some pretty solid advice about how to heal from particularly narcissistic abuse and codependency. Take care. Be well.